all good things must come to an end. And as the team prepares to play their last conference game of the season, the focus is on finishing strong. In order to do so, the team must continue to come together and be unified in everything that they do.
You know, it's not something I ever thought of when I was a little kid, thinking that I'd ever play college football. You know, it'd be cool, you know, but I never thought it'd happen. I always liked Michigan State, you know, after my first visit I took here, and it was always in the back of my mind. And Coach Roshar was my recruiting coordinator, and he'd come in and talk to me and say, "We're not ready to offer you yet, we're not ready to offer you yet." And then finally he came in and said, we can't offer you anything, we can get you a preferred walk-on. And it was a tough decision to make. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to a smaller school and, you know, try my luck there with a scholarship and get an education through a scholarship there, but my heart was always set at Michigan State. So I remember my dad telling me, "Can you do it? Are you gonna play at Michigan State?" And I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "Go for it then," you know? He was basically like, "Just go for it. I'm happy to support you in any decision you make. If that's what you want to do, if that's where you want to go, then I'm more than happy to pay for it until you earn a scholarship." And I'm blessed to have parents like that. You know, it gets me all worked up inside. You know what I mean? It's like they love me and care about me so much to allow me to do financially not beneficial to them, but beneficial to my heart and what I really wanted to do. So being a walk-on, there is a lot of struggles there. It's not an easy road to take. As a freshman, I just did the normal, you know, go to classes, go to football. But at football, it was like I have to work a little bit harder. You know, I felt like I had to match myself up to other kids. If they're pressing this much weight, I gotta try to press that much weight or more. You know, and I idled myself I idled them and thought that I had to get to their level of excellence to be able to play here. And that was tough. And my sophomore year is actually when it got really tough, because not only is my parents paying for school and me partly too, but my sophomore year I lived in Travis and Nico's living room on a little bed in the corner of the living room, because I couldn't afford an apartment here myself.
Yeah, I remember Kruse came to me and said, "Hey, you want to live together?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." And he's like, "Nico is our other best friend," and he's like, "Yeah, all three of us can live together." And he came to us with a 2-bedroom apartment, and we were like, "Oh, what's this, man? Like, are we gonna like sleep together in a room? Like, I really don't want to do that." And he's like, "No, I was gonna stay in the living room. It's really cheap." And we're like, "Oh, of course, you know." So it was kind of a setup that made us come really close, because it's tight quarters with 3 big guys in one apartment.
As Connor endured the struggles of being a walk-on, he continued to do whatever it took to earn a scholarship at Michigan State.
But come spring was when it got really tough. It was, you know, I needed money to afford living. So I got a job working at the bars. I was a bouncer. Basically would work till 4 in the morning, go get as much sleep as possible, go to class all day, go to football all day, and then just do it again. And that was my life. You know, I was working for something that I wanted. I was working for a free education and a spot on the football team. And if I wanted to get that, I had to do these things. There were some doubts. Came to a point after my sophomore season, working at the bars and stuff, where I just couldn't afford it anymore, you know. And I thought to myself, I'm gonna do one more year of football. If I'm not seeing, you know, if there's no scholarship coming to me, if I won't be able to afford it. So if this season doesn't work out for me, I think I might have to stop, is what my thoughts were, you know. But saying that, I also said I'm gonna work my tail off to keep trying to earn this spot.
As Connor endured the struggles of being a walk-on, he continued to do whatever it took to earn a scholarship at Michigan State.
So I get a text from Coach Allen my redshirt sophomore year, and said, "Coach D wants to see you in his office at," I think it was like noon. And I was like, "Oh, geez." You know, you don't usually get called up to Coach D's office unless you're in trouble or something. So I'm all nervous and just sweating, just so nervous. And I get into his office, And he says, I like the way you've been working. We have a scholarship available and I'd like to offer it to you. He said it's a one-year deal. You know, you got to keep earning it. So next year, you got to earn it back. But he said, I'll have it for a full year. And it was butterflies and my heart started pounding. And it was just one of the greatest, it was the greatest moment of my life. I couldn't be more happier. And I got out of his office, all happy, excited. And first thing I did was call my mom, because I know she'd want to be the first person to hear. So I call her, I tell her I got on scholarship, instant tears out of her. I can't understand a word she's saying. She's trying to talk to me, but I can't understand her. So it was literally a 30-second conversation, because I was like, all right, Mom, I'll call you later when you can handle this. I basically was like, all right, bye. And hung up. And the next person I talked to was Travis. I called Travis up, told him I earned a scholarship. Him being my best friend, he was more, I think he might have been more excited than I was, honestly.
I remember I was walking down the hallway of my apartment and I get this call and he calls me and he's like, hey man, and I was like, what's up? And he's like, I just went to Coach D's office and I got a scholarship. And I remember just like getting chills down my whole body and just being so excited. I think I was just yelling on the phone, because that's just something that he's worked so hard for, and seeing him go through that and finally be rewarded for that was just something not only so special for him, but special for the people around him, because they know how hard he worked for it. So it was just truly a special moment, and him calling me to tell me that is something that I'll remember here about Michigan State forever.
With scholarship in hand, Connor was motivated to prove his worth and become a fixture within the Michigan State program.
You know, he can play all the positions. As you saw the other day, he can play running back. Now, not very well, but he can play running back, and it's been fun. His leadership is tremendous. I think it's always been in him, but when you're not on the field, it's hard to allow that leadership to come out. But it's always been there. I speak for the entire room that we'll miss Connor Kruse in the offensive line room.
As his time wearing the green and white comes to an end, Connor's career is highlighted by his resiliency and the impact that he has had on this program.
I just want people to think that I worked hard. You know, I came here with nothing really. You know, I came here with a preferred walk-on, and basically just a walk-on. And you know, I just want people to think of me. They think of Connor Kruse. They think of the guy who worked his tail off to play for Michigan State.
Over his career at Michigan State, the story of Mike Sadler has been one of success, both on the field and off.
In high school, I always knew that academics and athletics were something that I would need to balance, and during my recruiting process, I understood the need to find a good balance in the school that I would attend, and luckily I found that at Michigan State. Coming out of high school, I was definitely the math and science kind of person, so I had a lot of AP credit, which I used to kind of jumpstart my education here. My undergrad was in applied engineering sciences, so it was a mixture of engineering and business. I really enjoyed the applied engineering sciences major because it kind of was a good balance between engineering and business. I didn't really know what kind of engineering I wanted to do, and I didn't know what kind of business that I would enjoy, so this was kind of the perfect avenue for me, being somewhat undecided, but at the same time knowing what I wanted to do. I finished that degree in 3 years, and now I'm working on my master's in public policy, which I'm set to finish up this May.
Michael Robert Sadler with high honor.
Academics is very important to me, and I think that my family instilled this in me at a very young age. We know that at some point football is going to end. It's going to be taken away from us. We're not going to be good enough to play at the next level. We might be injured. So what do you do when that happens? Well, fortunately I know that I have my academics, and I'm going to be very well off regardless of how long my football career is.
He is the first three-time academic All-American in program history, and has been named as one of the 17 finalists for the William V. Campbell Trophy, which recognizes an individual as the best scholar athlete in the nation.
When I found out I was a finalist for the Campbell Award, it was actually kind of funny. I was at the Union studying at about 1 in the morning when John Lewandowski called me and told me that I was going to be a finalist, and that meant the world to me. That meant the world to me. It was really a culmination of about 20 years of schooling that all paid off right then and there. So to be a finalist for that award and just to be nominated with some of the other great student athletes from across the country means a lot to me. I can't really put it into words, but very excited to go out to New York and have a good time and hopefully come back with the trophy.
Despite all his success in the classroom, Mike has also made a name for himself on the field.
When people think of punters, the first thing they think about is the person that runs out on 4th down and kicks the ball away to the other team, and usually they don't have a huge impact on a game, but I've been fortunate enough to be put in positions where I can indeed influence games, and a lot of these have come on fake plays. So that's kind of bizarre that a specialist is well known around here, but it's something that I've enjoyed, and fortunately we're put into positions to succeed with me running the ball.
And Sadler's got a first down.
He's got it. He's got it.
We need to understand that any time that I am on the field, I am easily the least athletic person out of the other 21 people on the field. So when my number gets called and I have to run down the field with these guys that would destroy me, my eyes are huge and I am running and trying to get out of bounds as quickly as I can. However, it's fun. Being scared out of your mind kind of makes you run a little bit faster, and luckily I've been fortunate enough to get to the first down marker every time so far.
Mike has had a special career at Michigan State and will forever be remembered by Spartan Nation.
Now that my career here is coming to a close, I've had a lot of time to kind of look back and reflect on everything that I've done. And I've been very fortunate in my time here at Michigan State to have lots of success, both as a team and as an individual. I think winning the 2014 Rose Bowl is probably the highlight of my time here, something that hasn't been done in decades at Michigan State. Individually, I've also had a very good career. I've been an All-American both on and off the field. And really the academic awards mean more to me than anything, just because those are going to be with me for my whole life. We understand that our athletic careers are fleeting and they're not going to last forever, but what we do in the classroom and what we will learn while we're here is really going to be with us for a lifetime.
The Michigan State offense is on pace to become the most prolific in school history.
Gets to the goal line. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU!
But the Spartans' record-breaking season would not be possible without the contributions and success of the offensive line.
I think our philosophy is described in one word. That word would be toughness.
You know, being an O-lineman, they say it's kind of a special breed, but I think you don't really know it because you're a competitive guy. You're going out there, and when you line up across from another guy, you're thinking about getting off the ball faster, getting under him, and just driving your feet. And so you always want to dominate the other guy.
Well, I don't think it's for everybody, but that's something I love. Just lining up against somebody is one of my favorite things to do. Just line up head to head and see who's better, who's more of a man, who's got more toughness.
Personally, for an offensive lineman, the biggest thing is just putting your guy on his back. There's nothing that feels better than knowing you just dominated the guy ahead of you, and there's really nothing better you can do on a play than take your guy completely out of it.
It's really a position group that plays for the team. We get just as much satisfaction when, we see a running back score a touchdown or a wide receiver catch a pass. So, we know that we create those opportunities, and without us, that stuff can't happen.
I mean, all you know is that, you're hawking for, the little guys behind you. So, they're the ones making plays. But at the same time, they know that in order for them to get the job done, we have to get the job done. So they rely on us to do our job.
I think most O-linemen on this team, we kind of don't like being in the spotlight. We kind of like being the forgotten guys.
The biggest thing is just everybody counts on each other, and oftentimes you'll see offenses fail when one person tries to do too much.
Everybody from Beaver Stadium on the campus of Penn State University in State College, PA. It's the Spartans and the Nittany Lions in the battle for the land grant trophy. Penn State has won the toss, but they have deferred. Michigan State will receive, and Penn State will defend the north goal to our left. Thicken with the run-up. Spartans waiting at the south goal line to our right. The kick is away, flat kick. 2 bounces to Shelton at the 10. Up the middle, cuts outside, left at the 30. He's at the 35, he's at the 40. Breaks a tackle, he's at midfield. Now the 40, now the 30. R.J. Shelton at the 20, the 10, the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU on the opening kick. Looks like a 90-yard run, no flags, folks. The Spartans have the lead. In motion, Godwin. They'll try to end around it to Godwin. Godwin with good speed, but the true freshman is spilled. Connor Cook under center. Hands to Jeremy, running off right tackle, breaks a tackle. He's at the 35, he's at the 30, and rolled down across the way. Michael Geiger will try a 36-yard field goal. Mike Sadler will hold. Good snap, the put down is perfect, it's on the way, and he hits it. The Spartans lead the Nittany Lions at Happy Valley. It's Michigan State 10, Penn State nothing. First and 10, Penn State at their 37. Hackenberg with a play fake, steps back, wants to throw it long right sideline, and it's broken up by Trey Waynes. Straight eye behind Connor Cook, two wideouts to the right. Handoff to Jeremy Langford, cutting off left tackle. He's at the 30. Connor Cook under center. Play fakes to Jeremy, steps back in the pocket, guns it right side, grab from 36. The put down, the boot. Enough leg, and he hits it. And it's the Spartans 13, Penn State nothing. Again, James to the left, Lynch to the right of Hackenberg. Shotgun snap. Pressure for Marcus Rush. And down he goes. Marcus got help from Riley Bulla, and he's sacked at the 36-yard line. Tight end to the right of Hackenberg. Behind him to his left is Lynch. Quick throw left side by Hackenberg. Caught, but for a loss. Deshaun Hamilton hit down by Demetrius Cox. Tony Lippett set to the right. Shotgun snap to Connor, throws left side. Good catch in traffic at midfield. Second and 10, Penn State at the Spartan 23. Hackenberg lofts it, right side into the end zone. Intercepted by Trey Waynes. It was bobbled by Godwin. Landed in the lap of Trey Waynes, and he hung on tight. But the Spartans will take a 13-3 lead to the locker room. So Penn State does get the football first to start the second half. Godwin wide left, starts in motion to the right. They fake it to him, hand it to Lynch. He doesn't get much. Up the middle, looked like he was stopped for no gain by Trey Waynes. Second down 10, ball at the Spartan 49. Hackenberg, play fakes to Lynch. He's in big trouble. Down he goes.
Ball came out.
The Spartans hit him back inside the 40. Now the snap. Connor looks right, looks back to the left, fires for Keith Mumphrey. Heck of a catch by Keith. First and 10 Spartans at the 36 of Penn State. From the shotgun, play fake by Connor Cook. Throws over the middle for McGarrett Kings. What a catch. Falling down. Fingertip grab at the 5-yard line. Third and goal. Offset eye right. Langford in front of Jeremy Langford. Handoff to Jeremy running left. Jeremy dragging defenders to the goal line. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU. Snap to Hackenberg. They're coming out from behind. The ball pops loose. I don't think that arm was coming forward. Let's see who recovered the fumble. Michigan State signaling they may have it inside the Penn State 20.
Yep.
It is Michigan State's football. Third and goal at the Penn State 10. Now Connor Cook's in the shotgun with Langford to his right. Jeremy protects him with a good block. Here's the throw to the end zone. Grabbed by Tony Lippett. Right side of the end zone. Touchdown, MSU. On first down, hands to Lynch. He'll get to the line of scrimmage and then be thrown back. Shalik Calhoun hit him for a yard loss. On first and goal at the 6. Connor Cook, hands to Jeremy, running left side. He'll get into the end zone, standing up. Touchdown, MSU. It's another 100-yard rushing game. 15 straight Big Ten regular season games in a row for Jeremy. Another knee, and time will run out here at Penn State.
Yeah.
Spartans brought their big boy boots, though, and they've lined up against a physical Penn State team and got the best of them, 34-10.
Game ball, first of all. Jay Lang, where you at? Good job getting game balls, guys. Great job by everybody here. But collectively, how many straight? I know you don't.
Nicky was on 15.
Yes, sir. 15 straight, 100-yard games, Big Ten. One more comment, all right? Great job. Great job by his football team, guys. Nothing's ever easy. Always remember that. Nothing is ever easy, guys. This is a tough football game today. Against a pretty good football team, especially defensively. But hell of a job. 10 games, 10 wins, 4 out of the last 5 years. A benchmark. Great team. Great football team.
It means a lot. You know, Michigan State becoming an elite program to show the nation, you know, how hard we work and you know, the faith we have in our teammates and the confidence we have. You know, we each trying to be an elite program in the nation and get some respect.
Well, we'll wait for a bowl game. You know, it'll be a big bowl game, I'm sure, and we'll go up the rankings a little bit. But where we go from now, we sort of take it all in for a week here and just relax and get back home. And last week of classes, but great effort by Langford today, and you know, Tony Lippett playing both ways. Great play by our defense. We went into the football game saying we need to be relentless on defense and opportunistic on offense. I think we did that, and then you know, we had to be special on special teams, and R.J. Shelton's kickoff return right at the beginning sort of set the tone for the football game, and great play. But we had big plays in the football game.